Yeah, where's manufacturing going? First of all, there was an old advertisement long ago that Ford came out with that I liked. It was called, "Have you driven a Ford lately?" What that implied is, you knew what it was, do you know what it is now? You see, we all know what manufacturing was. And when the change curve was like this, you could be pretty right. But the change curve, remember what I said a few minutes ago, the change curve is like this now. It means what it was isn't what it is or what it's about to become. So will manufacturing still have some dirty parts to it? Yeah, although robots will do a lot more of that than we do today, but there's going to be some people getting their hands dirty. Is there going to be some repetition in repetitive jobs? Yes, but we're going to automate a lot of the repetitive jobs. What we're going to really do is focus more on what humans do absolutely best. Secondly, not every kid is meant for college. Not every kid is. Some technical schools, some are really great with their hands, and you know what? They like working with their hands. Let's give them something to do. Some people really like to build things. Let's give them something to build. Some people really like to fix things. Let's give them something to fix. Not all kids are going to college. So instead of just saying that's what success is, we need to really redefine what success means. I think success is being happy and loving your work, being passionate about your job, really liking it. I've met cab drivers that love being cab drivers, and it's different from the cab driver that hates being a cab driver. I've met people that really love what they do at all levels of income. And the people that love what they do, you know what? They do it better. So instead of getting a job, maybe I ought to find what do I love to do and find an educational path that goes along in that line. There's plenty of work for all of us out there. If you've got the attitude, a positive attitude, and the willingness to learn and grow and get better each year, which luckily, as I said, humans can do. There's another little element here that I think you might find interesting, and that is for the first time in history going forward, since we're talking about the future of manufacturing, we're going to have 4 generations working in the workforce all at the same time. Never happened before. Why? People didn't live long enough. Remember a little while ago I mentioned 78 million baby boomers that are just getting older. You know what many of them are going to do? They're going to live 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And many of them are going to decide, you know, I need to still work. Now, they may not be working at what they retired from. They may only be working 3 or 4 days a week. They may work 5 hours instead of 8 hours a day, but they're going to still be engaged. A lot of them are. So the workforce of the future is actually part of the workforce of the past that's re-engaged again. But they're going to be working alongside young people. And what we need to do is to end the war between the young and the old. You see, we both need each other more than ever before. Young kids today, what do? They're playing with an Xbox 360, which is a fully immersed, three-dimensional, photorealistic, advanced simulation strategy game. And they are playing and cooperating, no, better than cooperating, they're collaborating with teammates that may be scattered all around the world to accomplish a goal. Sounds like business in a way if you just think about it in different terms. And they're not just typing. They got headsets on. They're talking to each other. But they're not just talking to each other. They got video conferencing. They can see each other. So these kids are video conferencing in a collaborative and multi-dimensional simulated environment to accomplish a goal. By the way, is your team? Well, the kids are. Maybe we should learn from those kids as to how we could reinvent manufacturing from the 21st century. And by the way, those kids are working for you right now, and they may be bored because you're showing them how to do it in the old way. Why don't instead we, those of us that have been around for a while, and we have things that the young kids don't have. We got experience. We got wisdom. You can't take a seminar on that and walk away with anything. That's your gold. But realize every plus has a minus. I said that earlier too. So what's the minus part of all that wisdom and knowledge you got? You don't have an open mind to innovation and radically new ideas that could grow your company. Secondly, you don't understand the power of new technology. For example, if you're 60 years old right now, I know you don't think of a toaster as technology. Well, young kids don't think of advanced simulation. You know what they think? They think that's like a toaster. It's an appliance. So they think different. You know what? We need to bring the generations together because that's part of the key to what 21st century manufacturing is all about. It's also all about relationships. You know, the more high-tech we get, the more global we get, the more important relationships get. And by the way, all relationships are based on trust. If you don't have trust, you don't have a relationship. And by the way, how do you get trust? Well, you have to earn it. Honesty, integrity, delivering on promises. So what we're going to see is Those kinds of things, which are very human and not that technical, are going to continue to be in the forefront of driving change and growth with manufacturers as well as anybody else. One of the things that I talk to the manufacturers about is that if you are indeed going to spend the rest of your life in the future, and by the way, that's not an if, and if all of the money that you're going to make is going to be made in the future, not in the present, because the present is really just a blip in time that's immediately becomes history, maybe we ought to take some time to think about this. I think you ought to be spending 1 hour a week unplugging from the present and plugging into your future. Asking yourself, what are the hard trends? What are the things I'm certain about? Where are things going? Where's my career evolving? What are the things I should be learning based on what I know we're going towards? Eliminate all the stuff you're not sure about. You'll be surprised at how much you can be certain about. Ask yourself, what are the problems I'm going to have? You'll be amazed at how many you can see before you have them. By the way, people say a problem is an opportunity in disguise. Nonsense, a problem's a problem. You know when it's an opportunity? Before you have it. So why don't you solve the problems before you have them? And what if I look at my customers' future problems and solve them in the form of a new product or service so that they don't have to experience it in the first place?